Hey up, I'm Alex, I'm the 9th Digidestined, and in this fancy sock is a device that I never thought I would own. Ladies and gentlemen, bam, 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 the Pendulum X. This was gifted to me generously by the legend Wandering Tamer and then fixed up by Uchu. Two absolute geezers. I never ever thought I would own one of these bad boys, and I am buzzing. Wandering Tamer found this for apparently a steal, but it was listed as broken or not working, so he commissioned Uchu to fix it because Uchu's a geezer. So between the two of them, they have bestowed upon me this beautiful device. I am buzzing. These are a very rare treasure among Digimon collectors, and they're from a very unique time in the Digimon timeline. So speaking of the timeline, let's have a look in our handy dandy Digimon start guide, because here we can see 97 Digimon Original version 1, 98 the Pendulum, 99 the Digivice, a couple more Digivices, 2002 we got the Pendulum Progress, and then 2003 that's when the Pendulum X came along, the first of the 3-prong connectors. So up until this was released, everything was your classic 2-prong connection, whereas these are a 3. Don't really know why they did that. I don't know whether this can transmit more information or something, but either way, 3 prongs can't connect with 2 prongs. It sucks, but that's how it is. So as with the Pendulum series, you shake it to get certain amount of hits, but the Pendulum X introduced the X-antibody indicator, the XAI, the Xi, which is effectively like a 7-sided dice. So these lights here act like a dice effectively, so you roll the dice, and depending on what score you get on your roll will also influence your Digimon. So you have to shake them, and then you have to roll them, and then you're ready to Digimon. It's like baking bread, isn't it? Right, so ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Greymon, and this is Greymon X Antibody. So let's have a look at him. Gotta say, what a mint sprite Greymon X is as well. Looks just like a normal Greymon, but he's just got his game face on, hasn't he? He's just looking serious. Love it. And my glamorous assistant today is another very quirky, lesser known device, the D-Cyber, because this little swanky flip phone is actually a Pendulum X, but in English, so we can check out the translated version of this device. For more information on the D-Cyber, I do have a full Digidestined Diary adventure playthrough of this thing. It's one of my favourite videos on the channel, so if you want to see more of this in more of an adventure style, then go and check that video out, please. I had a lot of fun filming it, and this is a very special device. But this video isn't about the D-Cyber, it's about the Pendulum X. So here is Dino Rexmon. So let's have a look. So our first one is Digimon, or stats as we effectively know it. So we've got the age, the weight, and then their name across the bottom. So obviously the Pendulum X is in Japanese, the D-Cyber is in English. Next, so we've got their stage, type, and then B for battle and J for Jogress. So Greymon can battle and he can Jogress. Next up is hunger. So you see, it doesn't show you how many hearts your Digimon has. You instead see a little animation, so you can see Greymon and Dino Rexmon are happy. You can also see that when we first go onto that screen, the lights will stay on, because the lights are also an indicator of how satisfied they are. So because they were permanently on then, that means he's full up. Next is strength or training, and again, they're both perfectly happy. They're doing their happy sprite, their lights stayed on, so we're good. Next is a very cool one. Digivolve. So because those lights stayed on, Greymon is very close to evolution. When they're not going to Digivolve, they won't come on at all, and then they'll start to flash, and then the longer they stay on screen, the slower the flash is, the more steady the X-antibody, the more likely they are to evolve. So Greymon is due to evolve soon, which is very, very exciting. Next is the X level. So this is effectively how well trained they are. So you can see my Greymon, his light stayed on 7, so that means he is fully trained up, he's fully happy, his X antibody is looking nice and powerful. This will determine their obedience, and I don't know if it affects their strength or not. I think it does, but I don't know that for sure. But it definitely affects their obedience, so whether they'll accept the food, whether they'll do their battles and all that kind of stuff. But my Greymon, he's a good boy, he's well trained. Then here's the battle record. We've got our win percentage, and then underneath it is their X-antibody type. So I believe there's wild, which is WI, normal, NO, and then artificial, which is the good one, AR. So again, that's kind of a reference to the X level, I think. So because Greymon's X level is 7, his X-antibody type is AR. And that's the first menu. Next, the meal menu. So this is where we can find our items. So we've got our meat to feed them up. We've got our pills for strength, but then we get other items in our quest mode. So we've got a meat M right there, vitamin plus. Then this goes into all our different ones. So depending on who we battle in the quest mode, which I'm about to cover, depends on what items we're going to get and all that. So I've got strength max here, aqua orb here. And these are different things that you feed them to influence their evolution. So a metal up is more likely to get you a metal geyser, for instance. Next is training. So in here, you can either train or you can quest. So first, let me show you training. Training is one where people's opinions differ because, as with the pendulums, your Digimon has a mega hit. Greymon's is 22. But then, after you shake your Digimon, it will then roll the dice, and the dice will also influence. So if you get your mega hit, but you roll a 1, your training will still fail. But if you don't get your mega hit and you roll a 7, your training will still be successful. So the dice roll has a massive part to play. So let's have a look. 21. I can only ever get 21 or 23. And now the dice rolls. And we have a 4. So we've not quite got a mega hit. We've got an above average roll. But I don't think that's going to be successful. We've got 2 triples. That's pretty cool. But then we're on to the singles. Another triple. That's actually looking pretty good. Another triple. Score 8. So we're good. We're in. So that was successful. Not the best, but that was successful. And the more you train them, the better their X antibody level will be. So that X level is 7 because I've trained my guy a lot. He's won a lot of battles. But if you start losing battles or failing training, your X level will go down. One more go. 23. I told you, I get 21 or I get 23. Never 22. And we've rolled a 2. So even if we got our mega hit, this would fail. So we're not going to sit through that. We'll just cancel it with C. But we also get quest mode. Now, this is the coolest part of this device. This really is so cool, especially considering the timeline when this appeared. This is the first time we saw something like this in a VPET. So we'll say no. We'll start from the beginning. So rest 100. We're on step 100. I shake it to roll the dice. The dice rolls, and then whatever number we get, that's how many steps through the quest we're going to move. So it's like moving across a game board. So we've rolled 2, so we moved 2 steps. And then we either find a Digimon, we find an item, or other things. So we found this little baby. We're going to beat him up. Come on, 22. It's a 22. Sick. We got our mega hit against a baby. But like I said, if we roll a 1 now, we're still going to suck. 3. That's average. I'm pretty happy with that. That should give us just our mega hit. Just firing doubles. He's dodged it. A little meatball guinea pig. There's his acid bubbles. Greymon takes it right to the face. Another pair of doubles. There we go. Now, unfortunately, the battles are very slow and they just keep playing out until someone loses. It's not a certain amount of turns. It is until someone dies. It's a fight to the death every time and there's no skipping them either. So some battles can be rapid, but most of them drag on a bit. But we won. And Greymon's buzzing, and again, that will help out his X-antibody level and make him happier and all that kind of stuff. So, let's go again. So, we're on step 98 now. Let's roll again. It's a 2. Another baby. Now, when this is rolling, if you press this, it skips the roll. Now, internally, that will assume I rolled a 3. So if you press the middle button, it will just auto-roll you a 3, which is your absolute bare minimum to proceed. So, not ideal, but if you're getting really fed up with rolling 1s and 2s, then just press the middle one and you'll get a 3. But with a 3, you're not going to achieve your Giga hit or your Terra hit. So, just be warned. Cool, we landed on a big one. So that can either be an item, it can either push you forward some steps, it can push you back some steps, or in some cases, it can be a big bad bossmon, which is usually a mega level Digimon, which you are definitely going to lose to, unless you're a mega level. 5, here we go. On to the next screen, hopefully something good. There we go, there's Agumon. This should be a better fight. 21! It's always 21 or 23. Come on, give us a good roll. 5, that's decent. Look at that, 3 damage. Buzzing, 2 hits. And we got a Meet M. And this is how we get our items. As you progress through quest mode, you come against stronger mons, you find more items and all that kind of stuff. There's loads of items in this that do loads of stuff. There are things that affect your evolution. There are things that can de-digivolve you. There are things that can max out your X level. There are things that can reduce your weight. There are loads of really cool and unique items, and I really love it. The quest mode on this is so much fun. But as you can see, it does divide opinion a little bit because, as I said, your mega hit heavily relies on your dice roll, which is completely random. It's a roll of a dice, and that can be annoying for some people. I kind of like it because, again, it stops it feeling so robotic, and the X-antibody is something that should make your Digimon a bit unstable and unpredictable. That said, something else that can happen is when your Digimon loses, it can just try and die. It can be after 1 battle, it can be after 10 or whatever. It's not necessarily tied to your injuries. It can just randomly try and die after losing a battle. If that happens, you just start shaking it like crazy and you should be able to bring your Digimon back from the dead. So if it starts playing a funky tune and your dude's looking sad and you've just lost a battle, get shaking or you're going to lose your mate. Toilet, obviously, your Digimon's going to crap. You press this and it'll flush them, get them nice and clean again. Next, we've got medicine. So you've either got injuries or sickness. That'll just, you press that once and it'll heal them. Next, lights. Just, again, when they want to go to sleep, you've got to turn the lights off. Next, connection. Now, this is something awesome. So, on the Pendulum X, you can either battle, trade, or Jogress. So I met up with my mate Uchu last night, who has the Pendulum X 1.5. Mine's the 1.0, by the way. So there are some minor differences between them. So we did some connection battles. It was my Greymon versus his Greymon. But even more unique, you can trade items, which is amazing. So as you know, you go through quest mode, you get different items. It's not always easy to collect the items because you can't necessarily control which square you're going to land on, so you can't really control or guarantee which item you're going to find. So you can hook up with your mates and say, I need some Metal Rise, he needs some Skywing, we can trade them. It is amazing. I traded my Leaf thing for his zombie meat. Trading items, that is amazing. And next, we can activate this. This is just our dice. And you can just use this to roll a dice. You won't get a 7 from this. This will act like a real 6-sided dice. So it rolls, and we got a 2. So if you need to determine who goes first in the Digimon card game, you can roll. And those are your menus. Now, there are some extra ones, as you can imagine. So, as always, with Digimon, you press A and C. And you can mute. So, on or off. Off will be muted. No more beeps, and then A and C again. But there is another secret menu that not many people know about. You can pause your Digimon by doing B and C. So we're on no, we select yes, and this will pause him. So as you can see, it's gone. This thing is now paused, including the clock, interestingly enough. So nothing's going to happen now. No care mistakes, no growth, no evolution, nothing. And as soon as I press a button, he comes back to life. But obviously the clock's going to be a bit slower now. 9:59. Versus 10. So yeah, and again, to change the clock, we press this.
Something else that I forgot to mention, battle calls. So every now and then your Digimon will get bored and he will randomly call out because he wants to have a fight. So if you see your Digimon kicking off randomly, you need to give him a battle and hope that he wins. Pretty cool. So just a fun little random event, again, helps make this device feel alive and unique and awesome. Absolutely love it. Buzzing.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Pendulum X, a real treasure among Digimon collectors. These things are very hard to find, and when you do find them, they're either incredibly beat up or incredibly expensive. So I really never thought I would have one of these, and I'm buzzing to have it. Do want to say, before I ever saw one of these in the flesh, I thought they looked a bit big and bulky and weird, but actually, to the naked eye, these things are beautiful. They're really sleek, incredibly thin. They feel really comfortable. They've got these little bits here for your thumb as like a grip, but they've also got this little divot here for, you know, when you're holding it, whether you hold it like this. You know, it's a very fun little thing to hold around. This isn't official. This is what Wandering Tamer's added on to it, because obviously you're shaking it a lot. So keep it nice and safe and sound there, but also this is fun. This is good for like connecting to a lanyard around your neck, that kind of thing. It's incredibly thin for comparison. And then again for size, so it's not actually as big as it sometimes appears in pictures or videos. It is a very sleek and very stylish device. Now, how does it compare to the D-Cyber? So as I said, the D-Cyber is the exact same programming as the Pendulum X, but it's in English. But the D-Cyber, I like it more for its English language, and it does have an extra feature. Now, I don't know whether this is on the later Pendulum X's or whether it's only for the D-Cyber, but it also has clone where you can back up your Digimon. I don't think there's such thing on this. The screen is also bigger, but not quite as crisp. Now, that again could be due to my particular D-Cyber. Maybe the other D-Cybers have a clearer screen, but I don't know. The Pendulum X just looks a lot sleeker and a lot nicer. So aesthetically, I much prefer the Pendulum X because it is super sleek, it feels ace, it looks and feels like a real Digimon device, and it's more practical for carrying around with you. This thing fits in your pocket nice, especially if you've got a cute little sock like this. Whereas the D-Cyber makes me nervous because it's a plastic hinge, and again, because this is such a rare and special device, it makes me really nervous to carry this thing around with me. It is massive in your pocket, look at that for size comparison. So again, due to this thing's rarity, it makes me super nervous to carry it around. Whereas this, armed with the sock, I'm pretty happy to take this dude out on adventures with me. So yeah, aesthetically, Pendulum X beats the D-Cyber. Functionally, the D-Cyber beats the Pendulum X. So which one's best? Which one's my favorite? That's a really hard question because I think I overall prefer the D-Cyber, but I will 100% be playing the Pendulum X a lot more than I play my D-Cyber. So take from that what you will. So yeah, massive thank you to Dan Wandering Tamer for acquiring this absolute beauty. Massive thank you to Uchu for fixing it and bringing it back from the dead. And massive thank you to everybody for watching this video. Yeah, that's the Pendulum X. I absolutely love it. But yeah, that'll do for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay ace, keep rocking. Peace.
Hello. So Greymon here has gone for a little bit of a wander and he's accidentally stepped on a piece of Lego. So he's looking down at his foot and saying, "Oh, damn it! Oh, this sucks!
Say something Australian.
Okay. Oh, crikey, mate! I forgot me green cube at Bendigo!